NYC band The Strokes is back, with there being 7 whole years between this record and their last full-length album, Come Down Machine, which was a pretty big letdown to many. This is the band's 6th full-length album, The New Abnormal, and this was one of my most anticipated albums of the whole year. The single At the Door absolutely blew me away with how much I loved it. I've never been the world's biggest Strokes fan, but that single got me really excited for this album. So much so that I didn't listen to any of the other singles that came out. Going in, the only song I knew was At the Door. I really wanted to experience as much of this album as I could when it came out, so I didn't listen to any more singles so I wouldn't spoil any more of the album for myself. This album is pretty different overall for the band, as a lot of people were expecting. The singles had pretty different vibes to them than the past Strokes projects, especially the previously mentioned At the Door. Worries were of course high going in for fans and critics alike, as experimental doesn't always mean good. This album ranges from being enjoyably original to painfully derivative, but I will say the originality is much more common here than the latter. This album starts off incredibly well with The Adults Are Talking, which is easily one of my favorite songs on this whole record. I love how this song starts, and vocals here are excellent, especially towards the end with some amazing falsettos. This is something the album doesn't entirely keep up throughout its entire runtime, so it's pretty great to hear it here. The chorus here is also insanely catchy. This is just a great opener and a fantastic song in general. Selfless is a pretty good track too. I love the beginning notes, and the vocal work here yet again blows me away. This is actually the shortest track on the album at under 4 minutes, but this feels like the perfect length for this track. This song just keeps the streak of great tunes that the opener started. This streak is continued with Brooklyn Bridge to chorus, which starts out with some fantastic synths. The production up to this point is pretty loud and very compressed. They got frickin' Rick Rubin on this thing, and a lot of the time here he actually uses these tools to his advantage, especially on this song. However, the great streak of songs comes to a halt with one of the singles for this album, Bad Decisions. I'm pretty glad I didn't listen to this one separate from the rest of the album when it came out, because it's pretty even with a later track as my least favorite song on the entire album. It starts out kind of alright with a pretty great drum part, but once that first chorus comes in, it just becomes the most formulaic song here by far. Julian's vocal work here also isn't great, and again that chorus is just so annoyingly repetitive. The rest of the song just feels so unoriginal, and it gets pretty hard not to skip this track. Eternal Summer follows this up, and honestly I can't decide which song I dislike more between this and Bad Decisions. This is a slow jam that goes on for way too long, and this is by far the most derivative moment on the entire album, and not even in an enjoyable way. Most of the song is just a massive Pink Floyd ripoff, and at one point the instrumental literally sounds like a worse Another Brick in the Wall. The song starts out somewhat decently, but quickly descends into something much worse, especially with Julian's vocals. They sound, again, like a really bad Pink Floyd impression. It's not even close to a charming callback, it just feels painfully unoriginal. However, the next song is better by miles. I mentioned before that At the Door is what got my hopes up for this album. I love the synths in the instrumental here, and the vocals are on another level. The latter half of the song especially just features an absolutely fantastic performance. The lyrics on the song are really great as well. The next song, Why Are Sundays So Depressing, is pretty good. I don't absolutely love this song, but it's definitely not bad. Just one of the more forgettable tracks here. I do really like some of the synth effects on this track though. Not the same anymore as a pretty nice slow jam, but again, nothing that'll blow you away. The song does also kind of drag on a little, but definitely not too much. Ode to the Mets is the closer here, and I think it's a fantastic closer, and probably my favorite song on this entire album. I love the core melody that fades in right at the beginning, and the vocals here are amazing once again. The instrumental here is really great too, and again, this is just such a fantastic closer. This is one of my favorite songs to come out this year. I just love the tone of it all, and I literally listened to this song on repeat like 4 times after listening to the album for the first time. This album was definitely a mixed bag, but for the most part it delivers. This is definitely a sizable improvement from their other somewhat recent work, and it's great to see the Strokes are at least starting this decade off with some quality. Yes, the rough moments here are very rough, and the quality of the songs ranges from some of the best songs in the band's discography to some of the worst. The album itself is only 9 tracks, with only 2 that I would really call bad. Most of the songs here are a lot longer than traditional Strokes songs, but the album itself is a tight 45 minutes. It feels like a good length, and the album never feels too stretched out as long as you skip Eternal Summer. Feeling a decently strong 7 on this album. Hey, thanks for watching my review. What did you think of this album? Let me know, I'd love to talk about it. Remember, this is just my opinion, and if you disagree, that doesn't make yours any less or more valid. This is just my take. What's yours? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.